So as per our requirement, the stock details report based on the plant and the store location. So based on the input, this is our output. Now, if you want, you can take the report heading as well. You can provide the report heading as well. Now, this is the part of column heading. Similarly, you can provide the report heading. And the same report heading you can provide by using at first, or we do have the event called top of page. SAP has provided the event called top of page. Now you can ask me what is the difference between. Now with the at first you can achieve the same thing. Even with the top of page you can achieve the same thing. Both will be used to set the header in your report list. Only the difference is that in future with the top of page you can provide the logo also. Sometimes user will ask the logo in your report header. That logo is not possible to provide by using at first. That you can provide by using the top of page. There are further advantage also that we'll see in the future. We do have one type of report called ALV. In that ALV, we do have many advantages of this top of page comparatively this at first. Now, at this time being, at this situation, both top of page and the at first are going to do the same job. Now, here if I go right, I can say material wise stock details report. I can go with color 5. I can say U line and the skip. Again, skip is a keyword. Skip will provide the gap between the two lines. Now, can you see at the 165, you do have the statement called end loop. And at the line number 167, we do have the statement called top of page. In between, I have taken one space, one line space or one line gap. The same gap will be provided in output list by using the skip. Skip will provide the one live gap between the two statements, right? Now, here all heading we have provided with the color 3. So here I'm taking color 5 and I want to take one U line. Now, if I click on execute, I want this heading at the 55th position. It should start from the 55th position so that it should come in the middle. Can you see? It should come in the middle. Now, user is saying, I don't want this complete U line from start position to end position. I want this U line only under this materialized stock details report. Only that statement I want the underline. How to provide? So in the U line, you can provide. So this you can provide by using at 55th position, you can go with psi U line. And you can bracket, you can provide the number of characters. Up to what number of characters you want to draw that line. So instead of U line, what U line will do? It will start from start position till end position. You will get the complete line, but I don't want complete line. I want from specific position to some number of characters. So you are going with the system variable. So it will start from.
This conference will now be recorded.
If I click on execute, see, it has started at the same character position of your heading and we need to extend few more characters. So I have taken the 30. So we will extend up to 35 characters. So your U line will go up to 35 characters. Can you see? You can extend one or two more characters. I will go with 37. Think logically, you'll get the solution, right? So 37 is more, you can go with the 36. Yes, exact. It has started with the same position where your text has started. It has ended with the same position where your text has ended. Right? Now, if you want to get it somewhere middle, you can go with again 60th position. Likewise, you can do the colorful for that U line also if you want. Now it's somewhere in the middle. I hope you must have seen the dot printer. You know, in the printers we do have the varieties, and that dot printer especially you can find in the medical shop, pharmaceutical shop, right? The sound is also weird. It will start. It is something like a typewriter. It look like a typewriter, but it's an electronic device. Typewriter, the how the page is going to be come out from the typewriter in a same way. But there we do have the keypad, but here it is totally automated. Have you seen the like dot printer? The reason behind this means like the page which are being used in the type like that dot printer, those is a complete a bundle of page. That is not a single page like A4. If you go with the normal Xerox shop or the A4 printing, they are going to print the page by page because we do have that individual page. A4 sheet will be having the individual page, but dot printer is complete a bundle. It will keep on printing. Where it is stopped, they are going to tear it up. Same way, if you go to the DMart, do you know like DMart, you don't have the fixed size of billing. The number of line item you are purchasing, based on that, your that billing size is going to be automatically increases. The bill height is vary customer to customer. If your number of line items are more, that bill size is going to be keep on printing. Once it is ended, it will cut off automatically. But during the dot printer case, we need to cut it off manually. You just need to tear it because that is completely a bundle. Even if you go with the public transportation, either if you go with the MSRTC or KSRTC, the bus, public transportation which I'm talking about. Nowadays, we do have even conductor is also having some machines to print the bill or print the ticket. Even that printing is bill is a part of your role only. It is keep on printing. Once it is ended, we are going to just tear it up. Same way. Now, whatever the data you're seeing, that is in a complete in one page. Actually, this is complete in one page. But in this way, I don't want. I want to break. Suppose I want to print this output list. Again, this output is going to be printed in large page continuously. But I don't want to print it in a large page. I want to break. I want to make a height, like fixed height of that bill or the data which is being printed in the output list. I want to make a part. I want to split into the part. So if I'm trying to print this output, it will be printed in a long page. It will be printed in a very long page like the DMart bill is going to be printed, or any shopping complex if you go, the bill size is varied. Height is very depends upon the number of line item which you are purchasing, right? So I don't want to go in that way. I want to break the output into number of pages. I want to break this output into number of pages. Now, how to break the output in number of pages? There is a keyword provided by the SAP called line hyphen count. To break your output into number of pages, we go with line hyphen count. This is a keyword. And this line hyphen count has nothing to do with this no standard page heading. This no standard page heading is different. This line hyphen count is different. These both are individual. So no standard page heading will be used to avoid the second title of the program. Line hyphen count will be used to break the output list into number of pages. Now you need to decide. Of course, you want to divide the page based on what, how many rows you needed in each page. How many rows you needed in each page. So I'm saying I need 25 rows in each page, right? And I want some 5 line space between the two pages so that we will cut it off that page later point of time. Now, if I activate this one, earlier you were getting only one heading. Now you will get the multiple headings. Can you see? First heading, this is second heading. It means till here we are going to consider one page. Till here we are going to consider each page. Means we do have 25 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to you do have 20 lines still here. 25 lines still here. Now this is your second page. Again in the second page you do have the separate heading. Again in the second page you do have the 25 lines. So it means we are breaking the main output into number of pages. And that we are going to do by using line hyphen count. You can break into any number of pages. You can like any number of lines. I'm saying that each page contains 50 lines. Can you see? This is your first. If I click on page down, see this is your second. If I click on page down, this is your third page. Now you can ask me how you're going to show that this is a page. Then we need to go with the page number. Suppose of course, each page you are getting the heading now. Earlier you are getting the overall one complete page, and you were having single heading. Now we are breaking this page into number of page, and we are considering some number of lines on each page. We want a separate header, separate footer on each page. Now if you want to provide the footer, the way we have provided the heading by using top of page, the same way we are going to provide footer by using end of page. I'm saying uline, then I'm saying right at 180 position, or I can say first position. Page citation. In the footer, I want to draw one line and I want to print the page number. Now we have divided our output list into number of pages, and each page we will get the header and the footer. Can you see? This is your page one. Now if I go here, if I make it is 45 lines, can you see here? This is your header and this is your footer. In the footer you are getting the page number. Now you can click on this page down option. This is previous page, this is last page, sorry, this is first page, this is last page, this is previous page, this is next page. Now if I go with the next page over here, see, now again you can see the header and the footer separately. Now the page number 2, again page down, this is your third page down, fourth page down, fifth page down. That's it. This is your fifth and this is your last page. This is your last page. Likewise, you can have the header and footer on each page. So if I go with the 42 something, you will get the proper header and the footer on each line. Page next, see, you're getting header and footer on same position. Can you see? This is how we are going to do it. So if you want to divide your output list into number of pages, then we use line -count to break the pages. And with this, we are going to decide how many lines you needed in each page and what should be the gap between each page. And with this, we are going to provide the title of the program. With the top of page, we are going to provide the page header. With the end of page, we are going to provide the footer. Now, here we can see we are also providing at the 60th position. I can say thank you. Visit again. Now, in the footer at the middle, you will get the page number. This is your page number, and here you will get the text thank you, visit again. If I again click on page down, see page 2, thank you, visit again.
This conference will now be recorded.
So here the note with no standard page heading user can avoid the title of the program. So as a part of interview process, these are the important points for you. So always brief before you go for the interview. They will ask you like how to avoid the title of the program. Then you can say title of the program. Sorry, no standard page heading. Similarly, how to break the page. Then you can go with line hyphen count to divide the main page into number of pages. Now there is an additional requirement. Now there is an additional requirement. Now what user is saying, see, this is your consolidated report, means we have extracted the data from the different database table and we have displayed in common output list. And based on that, they're supposed to do the analysis and accordingly they will take the further steps. Now what further steps they want to take? Now can you see this material? Now what user wanted to do is he want to update this material. Maybe he want to update the description of this material. Maybe he want to update the unit of measure of this material. Maybe he want to update the amount or any information of this table. Whatever the data you're seeing, of course this data is coming from the database table. But in SAP, whatever the standard table provided by the SAP, in those standard table, we never maintain the entry directly at the table level. Now you can ask me how this table is getting the entry. Who is going to fill the entry in this table? So that data will be filled by using some application. As a part of flow, as a part of flow, we discuss some tables and T codes. So when we run that T code, it will get the application, and whenever we process the data to that application, the data will be updated in a standard database table. For example, I want to create one material. I want to register one material in my system. Now, if I look at this business flow of now here you can see. If you want to register the in SAP, you have the transaction code MM01. If you run the T code, you will get the application. And whenever we process the data into that application, it will be stored in respective database table. Now, here you can see I'm going with MM01. I'm going with MM01. Now, this is my first screen. SAP is an business application. Application means collection of a screen, sequence of a screen. Each screen will be having some set of fields, maybe 1, 2, 3, totally depend. Now here, if you want to register the new material in your system, you should register by using the application provided by the SAP. Usually we never process any data in real time. That is a job of end user. But you should aware about this all process. So here we need to provide the material number, industrial sector, and the material type. So I'm providing the material starting with anything. So I'm registering the material in the name of something like 9821. Anything, anything. You can register the material with any number. Then whatever the material you are registering belongs to which industry. I told you that you do have the aerospace, chemical, food, mechanical, different. It means whatever the material you are registering, which industry sector it belongs to. Maybe chemical, maybe education, maybe food, maybe pharmaceutical, maybe mechanical, so on. Now, what is the material type? Is a like we do have the different coupons, device master, compatible unit. In the mechanical, what is a part of this material? I'm saying it is a raw material, maybe food, finished, semi-finished, so on. So I'm taking it as a raw material. I'm taking some random data. Nothing to worry. I'm taking some random data. So I have entered the material number. I have entered the industrial sector. I have entered the material type. Click on enter. You will get the further screen. I told you that applications are nothing but what? Sequence of screen. Each screen will be having the set of fields. So user is going to interact with those application, is going to interact with those screen field and transfer the data. Now, whatever the material you are creating, for that material, what information you want to maintain? maybe basic information of material, maybe sales related information of that material, maybe import and export related information of that material, maybe plant related information of that material, maybe MRP related. What kind? So I'm saying that I want to maintain only general information. Basic data 1, basic data 2, enter, you will get the further screen. Now here I'm entering the description, the basic unit of measure, the material group, then gross weight, then net weight. I'm filling some random data. There are many fields. I'm filling only mandatory. I know I'm filling because I'm aware about this application. Of course, maybe this is the first time for you, but maybe in the future you will used to or get used to this application or many other applications. Now, after filling the data, you can finally click on save. The data which you have entered in a 3 different screen, the data will be stored in a respective database table. Now, can you see in the message at the bottom? Material so and so was created. Now, what we can do is, I will go with SE11 and the table called Mara. Now, here you can see 9821. Can you see? Material number, material creation date, maybe this user, of course, me, myself has created this material. And this is material type ROH, nothing but raw material. So internally it will show stored as a short form. M means mechanical engineering, material group 001, basic unit of measure kg. And whenever you process the data via application, it never stores the data in any of the single table. The master data will be stored here. The material description will be stored in different table. I'll show you. The material description will be stored in MAKT. See, this was the material description. And then the basic unit of measure related information will be stored in Maram. See, gross weight. Likewise, we never maintain the data in any standard database table directly. So data in those table, it will comes via application. You don't have direct permission to maintain the entry in any table, standard table. Why? Can you see this display and maintenance? It is always restricted. Display maintenance allowed with restriction means anybody can see the data. Maintenance is restricted, not possible. Now here there is a requirement like whatever the data you're seeing in the output list, maybe he want to update the plant information, maybe user wanted to update the storage location information, maybe user wanted to update the material information. Now how to update it? Let's take example of material update. Now user wanted to update after analyzing this output list, he want to update some of the data. How and where to update? Directly it is not possible to update the table level. So you must go via application only. Now suppose if you want to update the material. So to create the material, the transaction code is MM0. So here we are talking about update, nothing but changing the data, updating the data. So the transaction code is MM02. So what you need to do, you need to go to MM02 like here, MM02, enter. And what material you want to update? This one, 100-100. We are going to pass it over here. Click on enter. Again, he is asking for this material, what information you want to update. Maybe basic data 1, maybe basic data 2, maybe sales organization data, maybe plant data. What information you want to update? And click on enter. Now he's asking you about the plant. Now the same material will be available in different plant, in different storage location. Already we have taken the plant and the store location information. The plant is 1000, storage location is 001, 0001. Same information I have provided, enter. So distribution channel, you can take it random, enter. See, this is a basic unit of measure. This is a description. Now this is material group, gross weight, net weight, weight unit. Now suppose if I change any information over here, I have changed the material description from casing to casing hyphen text. Now click on save. The same information will be stored in a database table. Now if I rerun this report, see what description you are getting. Earlier it was just casings. Now we are getting casings hyphen test. lengthy process, you know. First, consider the material which you want to update, copy that material, open the MM02 application separately. In that application, pass the material again. User is thinking that, oh, it's a very lengthy process. I don't want to go with lengthy process. User is asking, can you give me some shortcut way so that I will go to the MM02 and the data need to be passed. Now, currently, how did we achieve? We have opened the screen separately. In that, we have passed the transaction MM02 separately. In that, we have passed the material number separately. So this is a lengthy way. User is saying that I don't want to go with this lengthy way. Then we have come up with the solution. What user is saying? He wants some shortcut. Now we have come up with one solution. What solution? Now, whatever the output list you are getting, let's create one button over here. Now, what we are suggesting to the user is whatever the output list you are getting, let's add one button over here. And that button is something like material change or material update. We are suggesting let's add one button over here in the report output list. Something like this. Material. Now, whenever I click on that button, it should take me to the MM02 automatically. Now we are suggesting him, let's add one button over here. And whenever user click on that button, it will take you to the MM02. It will take you to the MM02. Now the question is, we need to achieve this job in two steps. First, we need to create the button, and what should happen if I click on that button? We need to achieve in a different step. First step is what? We need to add the button. And already we discussed about this screen. The set of fields which you are finding in this line, that is a part of menu toolbar. Set of fields which you are finding, or the buttons which you are finding in this area, we can call as a function key area. And this is your title bar, this is your application toolbar, this is your screen area, and this is your status toolbar. This we have already discussed. Okay, for example, this we have already discussed, but still I'm repeating it for you. So whatever the buttons you are finding here, in this area, this is a part of your menu toolbar. Menu toolbar. And whatever the buttons you're finding here, that is a part of your function key. And this is a part of your title bar. This is a part of your title bar. And whatever the area you're finding, this one, this complete area, application toolbar. And this last line is a part of your status toolbar. And this complete, we can call it as a SAP GUI status. SAP GUI status. SAP GUI. So by default, whatever the buttons you are getting, that is a default GUI status given by the SAP. Whatever the default button, like here you can find the edit, list, edit, go to, system, help, then back, cancel, exit buttons are there. Then this title, report, material, stock details. If you want to get the different title, even that also we can achieve. Now this is a part of application toolbar, then screen area and the status toolbar. Now whatever the default options which we are finding, that is a part of default GUI provided by the SAP. Now we do have the additional requirement. We have suggested him to let's have one button in the report output list. See, if you want to create the buttons in a report output list, you do have the feasibility to add the or create the additional buttons in menu toolbar or in application toolbar. You cannot create your own buttons in function key area. No, either you can create in this menu toolbar or maybe you can create in application toolbar. You do have two options. Either you can create the buttons in menu toolbar, either you can create the buttons in application toolbar. But here there are two things. One, whatever the default GUI you're getting, that is a given by SAP and that is a standard. It will get the same GUI status for every report output list. But here my additional requirement is what we have suggested the user to let's have the button over here. And when you click on this button, it will take you to the MM02. Now how to create the buttons? If you want to create even single button also, you need to create your different GUI. You need to create your custom GUI. If you want to have one extra buttons in your report output list, you must create your different GUI status. That is a part of custom GUI. And custom GUI is nothing but what? Collection of menu toolbar, function key area, title bar, and the application toolbar. Now here, if you want to add the buttons, either you can add in a menu toolbar or you can add in a application toolbar. And adding or creating the extra button for your report output list, that is a part of your custom GUI status. And that custom GUI status, you must need to create custom GUI status. And to create the custom GUI status, the transaction code is SE41 and that is a part of menu painter. Now, I told you that every report output list get the same as default GUI status. Now, whatever the button I'm creating, that must be applicable to only my report. It doesn't mean that if I add the button, it should impact your all SC38 program. No, it should work only for my program. Rest will be remain same, the default one. So you can create your own custom GUI status button by using the transaction code SC41 and the application we can call as a menu painter. Now he's asking for which program you want to create your buttons. Now currently are you seeing any buttons over here? No, right? And if you look at this menu toolbar, what are the buttons you are seeing? List, edit, go to, system, so and so. Now I want to create my own custom buttons for the program, this one. And you can create the custom GUI status with any name. There is no any requirement to go with the Z or Y. You can create the buttons with any name. So I'm creating in the name of GUI buttons. Anything, you can take any name. Anything, you can take any name. Just click on create option. Click on create option. So for the program, you are creating your own custom GUI status and I'm providing this short text. I can say additional buttons in stock report. Okay, I told you that GUI status is a part of collection of menu bar, application status, and the title. This is your menu toolbar, application toolbar, and the function key. I told you that Whatever the buttons which you want to add, you do have either you can add in menu toolbar or application toolbar. So if you want to add, you just expand this one. With this plus button, you can add the buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you see? This is a part of menu toolbar. Every application will be having their own default GUI status. Now for your report output list, you want to create your custom GUI status. So that we are creating by using SE41. And if you want to add the buttons in application toolbar, so now we are adding the buttons in application toolbar. So you can add maximum 35 buttons in application toolbar. So now we are adding the buttons in application toolbar. So I can say maximum 35 buttons you can add. Will be added in application toolbar. Maximum 35 buttons will be added. Always keep in mind. And again, whenever you create any buttons, either you can call it as a buttons or we can say push buttons. Within the button, you do have the checkbox, you do have the radio button, but we wanted to create the push button. So whenever you create the push button, for the push button, you need to maintain the two text. One with the label to understand the user, and one with the FCT code for system understanding. So whenever you create the push button, you need to maintain the two different text. One is for the label for user understanding and one with the FCT code for the system understanding. And the FCT code stands for function control code. FCT is nothing but function control code. Now here we are about to create the push button. Actually maximum 35. Now you can ask me why it is provided in the table format. Does it mean if I create the buttons, it will be created in the table format? No. Actually, the button will be created in a single row only. But if I go with the position, if I show it like this, it will go out of the screen. You don't have that much of area. So that's the reason SAP has splitted this table. But if you create, suppose if I create the button, where it at what position I can see that button in the report output list. 8 position, that 8 position somewhere comes around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 position somewhere this one. 9, 10, likewise up to 35 position we do have. Even though if we are creating what table format over here, but in the output list, it will be shown in the same row. But always go with the sequence wise from the first position. Okay. Now the thing is that what should be the label and what should be the FCT code for push button. So label could be anything. Label could be anything. Even FCT code should also be anything. It could also be anything. It means you can take character, you can take special characters, you can take numbers, anything. But characters should be in uppercase. Character should be in uppercase. Always keep in mind. Now here I'm providing the FCT code. Now you can ask me why we are defining the label and the text. See, we need to let understand the system in a same way the system understand. Means we need to convince to the system the way system understand. We need to convince to the system the way system understand. So we use FCT for the same button. We need to define the FCT code plus label. Label is for user understanding and the FCT code for system understanding, because label can be in only character and that can be in the upper and the lower case combination, but FCT code never be in the lower case. It should be uppercase. And if I create the label in uppercase, doesn't look good. So user always want combination. First character should be upper, remaining should be lower. Means upper and lower. But during the FCT code, lower case will not work. So that's the reason we need to define the two different texts. One is for user understanding, one is for system understanding. And for the system understanding, whatever the text we are defining, that we can call as a FCT code. That could be any character. That character should be in uppercase. It can be any special character. It can be any numbers, anything. So I want to show you some simple scenario. You can go with any special character. I'm taking dollar. You can go with any text, but that text should be in uppercase. Now, what is the today's date? Something like 1301. I can take the number also. I can take the special character also, like this. Okay. Now we need to create this button. This is the FCT code we define. Now we need to create this one. So to create, double click on this. So we are defining this function code and I want to provide the static text. Static means the text will be remains fixed. Dynamic means it will be changed. But we wanted to provide the static text. Click on enter. Now he's asking. Now whatever the button you are creating, what is the description for this? I want to update material. Now can you see as button you can create the icon also, you can have the label also, or you can have the icon plus label. Button which you are creating in the output list, that button can have only label also, that can have label plus icon also, or that can have only icon also. Now you're saying that I want the icon as well. See, and it is not like you have your own choice of icon. No, SAP has provided some set of icon. You can select among them only. So where I can see that list of icon, just simply do F4 here. Choice is yours. Which icon do you like? You just double click on that. So this is the list of icon. Can you see in the left side? Which icon do you like among these? You can take that one. Okay, so I want to go with this. Double click on this. See, this is the icon. This is the code for that icon, and this is the icon which will comes in the output list. Now, do you want only icon or you want icon plus label? So I want icon plus label. So I can say material change in bracket. I want to provide the Tcode name and click on enter. Click on enter. Now, can you see this info text? Can you see this info text? The meaning of info text is what? Now see, can you see this pop-up in that you are finding two buttons? Now what is this button? You don't have the label for that button. You do have only icon. But I'm just curious, what is the purpose of that button? So if I take my cursor on the icon, can you see the text? Cancel in bracket F12. That is a part of info text. So whenever user places the cursor on my newly created button, you also get the info text, and info text you are getting this one. Okay. So what I do here, I can say material, and this one I can say update material. Okay. Function text, I'm providing some material. This is some shortcut text to the function code. This is the icon and this is the info text. You can select a shortcut code also. Even your button should work on the function key. Now these are the list of function key. You can choose one of them. So I'm selecting F2. I told you that. Do you want only icon or icon plus text? So I want icon plus text. So I'm taking that material. See, not all fields are mandatory. Even if you provide this multi-function text is enough. But here my requirement is what? I want the icon. Along with the icon, I want the label. Plus I want the info text. Means whenever user places the cursor on my icon, I should also get this continue in bracket enter. Same way, you will get this one. Now click on enter. Your button has been created. Make sure that it is active. Okay. Now I'm running my report. Means I should be able to see my button. Where is my button? Do you see a button? No, right? See, this is a default GUI which is provided by the SAP, that is we are getting. But we have created our custom GUI. And I want my custom GUI need to be, I don't want to go with my standard GUI. I want my custom GUI in output list. And to get the custom GUI, we need to use the event called set PF or the at PF status. And what is the status name which you have created? Buttons. Can you see the button? Now, if I take my cursor on that button, can you see update material in bracket mm02? That is the info text. And this is icon plus icon label. Can you see earlier we are getting list, edit, go to different buttons. Now we are only finding two in the help. So in that case, you can create your own under this menu toolbar. Click on plus, it will keep on adding the buttons. Okay, so if I go with the save, see your back button, cancel and the exit buttons are disabled. Can you see? Even you cannot come out of this. These buttons are disabled. Save, back, cancel, exit are disabled. Whenever you create the custom GUI status, you need to enable your back, cancel, exit. No need to create. You can just expand this function key. Can you see this function key? Just pass the FCT code. Now for this back, I want to have my own FCT code called ampersand back or dollar. I want to go with exit. So just to enable the button, you need to provide the FCT code. And the FCT code could be anything. Okay.
Sir, before writing the words, excuse me, sir.
I will stop the recording, then you can ask your question. Okay. Okay. Now here I need to come out of this. Now how to come out? Your back is not working. Can you see? How to come out? My back is not working. Means back button, cancel, exit, nothing is working. Now what you should do is just go with /n. It will close the screen because it is in testing phase. My program is completely not completed. We are in progressing mode. We are yet to develop the program. It is in under testing. So you can go with SE38. Now you can find one button in the menu toolbar extra, and you can find that back, cancel, and the exit button. Can you see? Back button is enabled, cancel is and exit is enabled, even that cancel. But I don't find that save button. Now what should you do? What I do, I will go with save, double click on this, create menu text, or you can create the new menu. I want to create the new menu C. I can say something like mat change, something like material change. Now if I go back, SE38, again execute, Can you see? Ampersand save, material change. Okay. So what I do is I will just provide save, and here I will provide ampersand exit. Now it should exit the program. Activate. Now see, even though the buttons, back button, cancel and the exits are enabled, but nothing is happening. Even though if I click on this, nothing is happening. We need to add the code for that. Okay, save. In that material change, you do have exit. This is the push button which we have created here. This is a back, cancel and the exit.
This conference will now be recorded.
So again, I want to clear you, like whatever the buttons I have created in menu toolbar, maybe application toolbar. Here under the function key, I have not created the button. Already buttons are available. I have just enabled it. How did we enable? But just by passing the FCT code. So this you can consider the FCT code. This is your FCT code. These are the FCT code, and this is the label, right? And again, whatever the special code I have passed here I have passed a dollar, here I have passed the ampersand. It doesn't mean that FCT code must be start with any special character. No, I'm just showing you. You can take anything. You can take anything. See, for this mat change, for this exit, and again, if I go with this one, I will just remove all this. Just my intention is what? You can take anything. You can take numbers, you can take any special characters, you can take any characters, but only the thing is that the characters which you are taking, that should be in uppercase. Okay. Now, if I come back to this report, but if I click on anything, nothing is happening. See, I'm going to click on these buttons. Does it happening anything? No, nothing is happening. In your body, we do have the sensor, right? Someone is pinch you, someone is calling you. Our organs are going to start reacting. So those organs will be having some sensors that having some connections to your brain. And whenever someone pinch you, someone is calling you, it will goes to your like throw, like someone is calling you, that is a part of your ear that is going to inform to your brain, and the brain cell is going to be activated and it's going to be reacted, and it will give the indications to your maybe eye or maybe to your body, just turn around, look around, right? Same way, someone is pinch you, again it will go to the brain will react you accordingly, your body organ will start reacting. This is how it will go. Same way, now this is something like your organ, material change, back, cancel, exit, save, something, these are the organ, but it has not been connected to your brain, means the main machine of your system, it has not been connected. Now we need to make a connection. The sensor which are working in our body, the same way we need to have that sensor here. Now, how the system will get to know that someone is clicking on this material button, someone is clicking on this back button, someone is clicking on save button. When like mom is stepping out from the home, and if you will be in the home until she back, she's going to give some instructions to you. Maybe the dodh wala can come, maybe some paper wala can come, maybe some other can come. And what you supposed to do when they come? She's going to tell you in advance. So accordingly, you're going to react when they visit, right? Same way here. Now whatever the new buttons we have created, and what we should do if that user is going to click on that button, we have not written anything for that. Now before that, we need to enable, like whenever user click on any of the push button, how the system will get to know regarding that. Now we don't have any one of the single button, we do have the multiple buttons: back, cancel, exit, save. There are many buttons. Now exactly which, when the user click on which button, what should happen? Now before that, the system should get to know that someone is interacting to the button. For that, we do have the event called at user command. So at user command is also a one event. So in the interview, they might ask you, at user command is a event or the keyword. So this is a keyword, sorry, event. At user command is a event, and it will trigger whenever user interact with the push button. It will trigger whenever user interact with the push button. At user command. It is an event or it will trigger user interact with the push button. So this is a job of the at user command. Whenever user interact with the push button, it will update to system like someone is interacting. This is the event. Okay. Now at user command. Usually suppose, of course, in home, you are watching TV, you are just enjoying, chilling out, and of course in the hall, and mom is still busy in the kitchen, and of course your door is closed and someone is ringing from outside. Someone is calling. What mom is going to say? Look who is at the door. Now you're quickly rush to the door and you're going to open and you're going to check it out. So this is the job of at user command. So whenever, of course, you do have the bell, even though if your door is closed, if someone is bell you, ring you, of course you will get to know. That is what this is the job of at user command. Now after clicking on bat, after ringing on the bell, of course mom is going to call you from the kitchen room. Look, open the door. Who is at the door? Then you are going to rush it out. But you are not sure who is at the door, but you are going to rush to the door. Same way, now we do, there might be a dudwala, there might be a paper wala, or some other also. You are not sure. Same way, in the output list, we do have many buttons. We are not sure exactly which button user has clicked on. But my reaction should be different based on the person who is at the door. Same way, the reaction should be different based on the button which you are clicking. Now the reaction is totally depends after seeing the person who is at the door. Same way, the reaction will be different after getting to know that which button user has clicked on. Now, how I will get to know that which button user has clicked on? By using the system variable provided by the SAP called SciUcom. SciUcom is a system variable provided by the SAP. It will return the FCT code which user has interacted. Suppose if we click on back button, what is the FCT code we have defined for the back? That FCT code will be written by using SciUcom, and accordingly you can manage the logic. And for that we need to write the conditional statement because you do have the multiple buttons. Now exactly what should happen if I click on which button? Accordingly we need to write the code. Now very first we will go with the back. What is the FCT code for back? Simply back. And what should happen if I click on back? I should go one step back. That is a part of leave to screen 0. This is the standard keyword. Similarly, we do have the exit and the cancel. For the exit, what is the FCT code? Exit only. And for the cancel, what is the FCT code? Cancel only. And there is one more. There are total 3 exit. This one exit, and this one. Of course, this FCT code are same only. Okay. What should happen if I click on exit or cancel? It should leave the program and go out. Similarly, what should happen if user click on this material change button? So for the material change, you do have the option in application toolbar also. You do have the option in menu toolbar also. Either if user click on button from the application toolbar or if user click on button on the menu toolbar, what should happen? I told you that whenever user click on the button, what should happen? It should call the MM0 screen. And to call the any transaction from the background, we use the keyword called call transaction and the transaction code name. Now your all buttons will work. I'm going to click on execute. Again execute. So this is your button material change, back, cancel. Now first I'm going to click on back. As soon as if you click on button, immediately at user command will get active. It will inform to the system immediately, right? See, if I click on back, now I click on the cancel and the exit. For the cancel, what is the FCT code? Exit. So whatever the button you have clicked on, for that button, what is the FCT code? Exit. And if it is exit, what are you supposed to do? You need to leave the program. Leave the program means it will take you there where you came from. Initially, you have started executing program from here only, right? So it will take you here. One step back means, suppose this is my selection screen. From the selection screen, I'm coming to the output. Back means one step back. It will take you one step back. So this back is working automatically. I will change the FCT code to something else like ampersand back. I will take, or hash back, anything. So we need to change here, hash back. Okay. Now if I click on back button, so this is the job of @user command. It is informing to the system like someone is interacting in the output list, and immediately Sayukom is rushing and he's checking who is at the door. Back. So if it is back, what should happen? Leave to screen 0 means one step back. Leave to program and leave to screen 0, the difference. Leave to screen 0 means one step back. Leave program means go back from where you came. Right? Similarly, my requirement is what? Whenever user click on this material change button, so my requirement is what? Whenever user click on this material change, it should be take to the MM02 without opening a new session, without entering the transaction code called MM02. It should take me to the MM02. So I'm going to click on this material change. See, the breakpoint has triggered. And what is the FCT code? Can you see this? mat_1301. This is what FCT code we have defined. This is the FCT code we have defined. Can you see? Anything you can define. And what should happen if this FCT code triggers? It should call the MM02. See, your MM02 is calling. Did I open new session? Did I run the transaction MM02? But it is still calling for you. Even though if I go with this save and click on material change, see, what is the SIUCOM? Mat change. When I do F6, can you see mat change? And what should happen if I go with the mat change? Again, it is taking you to the MM02. So call transaction is a keyword. It will take you to the specific application. Usually how we run the transaction? By opening the new session under the command, we will provide the MM02. But if you go with this keyword, it will call your transaction in the background.